Welcome back, everyone. It's episode 5. We're starting here in the Enderman farm that we created in between episodes, and it has everything we need. We've been able to enchant tools and armor. We've been able to come over here and get tons and tons of levels with one-hit kills. We can actually hit them with our hands, and I believe they're still one-hit kill. Yeah, look at that. Just one-hit kills, which is excellent, but it's great for getting all the XP we need to just get everything tip-top. We've got extra ender pearls all over the place. We've got tons of anvils. But this has definitely been a godsend when it comes to just enchanting everything and getting everything back up to where we need it to get. Especially all the elytra. I got all those fixed up, and we're slowly starting to sell all of those. We've got a lot of stuff going on this episode. Just a ton of stuff, and I know you saw this, but I just love these things and how efficient they are at getting XP. So we've got a lot of stuff going on this episode. We've got a lot of little things that need to go on, but I want to start over the ocean. Specifically this ocean right here. I went ahead and put a layer of glass here. It's 64 blocks in with the radius, so I guess 128 in diameter here. And I'm not quite sure if this is going to be enough. I thought that we would have enough space here to do all the things we want to do, but I also don't want to feel cramped. This is only, I believe, 8. Yeah, here we go. It's only 8 chunks in diameter. And a lot of the things we're going to do, they're going to take up, hopefully a chunk. We're going to put a lot of these things in one chunk, like maybe the mob farm right here. And then we'll have a bone meal farm and a wood farm. And I don't know if everything's going to go out in concentric circles, but I'd also like to have a big spot to put that factory we were talking about. So I may end up having to expand this. I'm open to suggestions on design. I thought a circle would be pretty cool. And I do like the way this looks. But maybe I can do just some other shapes coming off of this thing to make it a little more interesting looking. I don't know. I'm open to suggestions, but for now, I can certainly start putting in a mob farm and a bone meal farm and all of that good stuff. And that's what I have laid out right here. All of these chests contain the materials needed for these individual farms, except for this one, because that's on top. I know I want to get a super smelter done. I believe these are what I need to do that, but we've got a super smelter and the bamboo farm. Those are going to go together because I would like to have the bamboo farm with all of these things. Bamboo farm, fuel the super smelter. But I also would like to get the mob farm going because rockets are slowly becoming an issue. We can buy rockets in the shopping district. We'll stop by there and see all the new stuff that's come up. But I don't want to have to rely on everybody. I'd like to have an auto crafter that does rockets for me. And then we've also got just the beginnings of a storage room. We're going to have a lot of shulker loaders, and in order to feed those shulker loaders, we're going to need a shulker farm. So we have all the materials to make a really cool shulker farm. And then a tree farm. This is all the stuff we need to make a playerless, self-sustaining tree farm, as long as we have bone meal. What I'm hoping to do is build the mob farm and see how many bones come out of this, so that maybe we can just use all the bones from this guy and not have to build a big bone meal farm. But there are some pretty cool bone meal farms out there, and I wouldn't mind trying to build one of those. But if I can build just a really big mob farm and it does it, then I don't need to. So I'm holding off on this guy for now, and we're going to see what kind of output comes from the mob farm before we build the azalea tree farm. So that's kind of the plan today, and I think we're going to start with the mob farm. We're started here with just an easy little sorting system. For now, we're just going to sort out all of the actual items. I think eventually, especially with the bone meal, that's going to have to be taken and broken. The bone meal, I guess the bones need to be broken down into bone meal and sent off to the other farms. For now, we want to see how much we're actually getting from this farm. So we're going to do this. And then we're just going to build up nice and fast. If you guys don't ever use fast clickers in your building, I highly recommend it. If I turn mine on real quick, it saves you just so much clicking. And I think if I only do 2 here we go, I can just run, make sure I don't hit those corners. But if you've ever placed long, like big walls, then this is definitely the way to do it, because it saves the amount of time that you actually spend placing a lot of items. After putting in this drop chute, I'm really not sure that I like the regular glass texture. I've got the feature to where the stained glass that you can see below me, it's got the connected textures. So you can still see the little 3 dots here on the glass pane. So you can see that there's actually something here. And the regular glass has the clear texture. See, there's no 3 dots on any of this. but I'm not sure that I like the look of this. I might just swap it out for maybe a white stained glass. I think that's going to look a lot better. I would say other than some texture pack issues, I like this a lot better. It just looks a lot cleaner. Now that we're finally up here, this is definitely pretty big and honestly, maybe a little overshadowing. Let's take a quick look at it. I was concerned that this might be overshadowing a little bit, but I guess not. From up top here, it definitely seems like it's huge compared to this 128 diameter circle, but I'm not sure that it is. We've got it in, all of this is inside one chunk. I can show you here. We got all the spawn section is all here within one chunk, and I would like to put, here we go, minus this one, we need to keep a note on that one. I'd like to keep all the redstone here inside one chunk, but yeah, this is not too big. I think overall, we definitely need to expand this. We definitely need to make this bigger, but this isn't too bad. And it's close enough to where when I put my storage system here, I can feed all the stuff in and around. I can make the rockets, I can make the bone meal for the farms. Let's go ahead and put this redstone up here. I don't know if I have all of the materials. I might. I think that's how you do it. Which side was it that I needed to worry about? It was over there, wasn't it? Okay. So let me go ahead and add all these in. This should be just as easy as clicking this guy. There we go. And that should cycle around with this redstone. Let's just double check. Perfect. And then let's double check the whole farm and see if this is powering it. If we just remove this one right here, that should have triggered everything. Yep. And then put a redstone here. That should have undone it. Yep. So now if we turn this sucker back on, it's going to read that update whenever the redstone crosses over. So power on. Look at all those mobs. Let's make sure they're all working. They're all dying. Awesome. Spider's getting a little stuck, but they're going to die. I guess he'll die in the fire there. This looks like a working farm. And it should pump out quite a bit of mobs. Let's just watch it for a couple seconds. I spent an hour doing that time lapse so we can see the efficiency of it, and I think we have a problem. Stuff is collecting up in here, which means that these are full. And honestly, I didn't expect it to be this efficient. I'm going to be completely honest. It's so much more efficient than I expected it to be, which means I'm probably going to have to set this up as a water stream. If I can put multiple of these into a dispenser and have that dispenser shoot across an ice path, that'll make sure that this stuff gets spit out a whole lot faster. But this is not a good site. So I wonder how much we actually got. This is not bad. This is 51 minutes, I think it was. Nice even spread there. Look at it. It's all fairly similar. And then what do we have over here? Just some little bits and bobs. But it's a little disconcerting to see that these are still full. See, so like this is the one that actually feeds into the system, which means that every time we get more bones, well, I guess it switched over this time, but yeah, none of these are ever going to go down because once this empties, it'll start pulling from this one, but then it'll just fill up from either this one, or this one. So this is something we definitely need to take into consideration. I think we need to make this an ice path. I'm going to do this later. I don't think this is something I need to do now. I can do it off camera. I want to move on to some other things. Specifically, in the last episode, I mentioned I want to sell elytras. I still have all these elytras. I went and fixed them up, and I fixed them up with XP from the Enderman farm, the Enderman XP farm. Now, talking about the elytra shop, I had an idea. I want to do something similar to what they did on the Hermitcraft server this season. I could do the big box store with the elytra, you know, right on top. That's, you know, super old and cliche, but I've got just some purple glass here. What if we did a, I don't know, 20 block deep, kind of oval shaped hole that's lined with endstone, and then we do the layers of glass, you know, every other layer, kind of like this. I believe if we put some of those purple frog lights in the bottom, we're going to get a really cool fog effect. And I think 20 layers deep, what is that, 9 or 10 different layers? That'll give a pretty cool fog effect. And then I can put just a little thing in the middle that shows where the elytra are and how much they are. And it just doesn't have to be super fancy. I think the fog effect hole will be kind of the fanciest. Let's get to the shopping district. I can show you what's been going on there, and then maybe we can find a place to put it. We're in the shopping district, and it is rainy. We've got a nice little platform here. This is an entrance way. I think the spawn for the server is actually right here, so anyone that's joining is going to see a couple of notes about the server, which is pretty great. We've got a honey shop. We've got the Froglight shop that was there last time. This one is one I don't think I've seen yet. Globy, sugarcane, potatoes, hay bales, golden carrots. That's a new one. I actually have been wanting to switch to golden carrots. What I don't see is an ender chest. So I'm going to go ahead, and I don't have one on me either. Okay, well, I can't buy anything. There's no ender chest. What else is there? So this looks like a wood shop. I've already visited this once. And let's see. A lot of his stuff has been... I bought those. There's some more... I don't think I bought these. So someone else got those. I bought those. I know that I'm going to be building a wood farm, but at the moment, I still need a lot of chests. And I don't necessarily want to do all the chopping. So I might come back and get this cherry wood just to turn that in. So that would be 9 stacks of chests. So that'd be good. And then over here, we've got a pretty great looking barn. I think it's not quite open yet. There's horses in here, and I've actually got... Do I have up in the top left? I wonder if I can see horse speed still, if I have that turned on. Yeah, there we go. Horse speed, 9.407. But over here, more importantly, there are rockets for sale. And I think... I actually don't see any signs. Is it... 2 stacks for 1 diamond. Yeah, that's pretty great. I did just build that mob farm, so I may not come here anymore, but I definitely bought a few of these. I think I bought 12 or 18 stacks. I don't know. But it's time to build that elytra farm. I've had a couple people want some, and I've sold them just privately. And it's something that I think is needed. So I kind of want to put it maybe here. I haven't put any sort of design together yet, but I think that's something that we can just kind of play out. This is the spot I ended up going with, kind of next to all of these shops. I know that I had said we were going to do it right here, which I thought would be a good spot next to the portal. But this seems kind of central. It seems like a good spot to go with. I think this is going to be deep enough. I've actually never done this before, and it's time to find out if this is enough. I think it'd be best if I cover the whole bottom. I just don't think that's going to be enough. So I want to go ahead and buy some more of these purple frog lights from him. And of course there's no ender chest, so I've got 2 left. I'll have to go make some more at some point. So these are 1 diamond for 16. So I'm gonna go, that's 4 diamonds, 8 diamonds, 12 diamonds. Yeah, just like that. Perfect. Let's go see if this is going to be enough. Well, I definitely needed to buy some, but I also bought too many, so I'll just stick those back into my ender chest. I'm starting to wonder also if this is going to be big enough, we'll do the fog effect here in just a second. I'm not gonna have a lot of space for a structure in the middle, or is it just gonna be a chest? I think a chest would look pretty silly. So if I need to expand this, I can. I also have never done this before, but I decided to leave a gap underneath these, I think, so that as you're looking down, you can't see kind of where it ends. That's just how I expect it's going to work. And honestly, I don't know if this is coming down far enough either. Let's just throw some of these in here and see how it works. That's one layer down. It's not super promising yet. I think we can do this. This is 8 layers. And honestly, I think it looks pretty good. You can kind of see. Not really. Actually, you know what? Not really. I wonder if I break this one. Can you see it there? You can kind of make out, yeah, the grid all the way at the bottom. So here we go. I need to pretty this up some. Hey, I've already got a sale. It's only been like 6 hours or so. I went ahead and just filled in those layers, just threw some end stone up around the top, and put a chest here in the middle. I really don't like the look of just the blank chest, but it works. It works. So I'm going to go and just take that right there. And let's move on to something else. I thought I'd go ahead and fill you in on what I did here. We knew that the drops were all getting stuck inside these hoppers. So I put in that ice waterway. You can actually see right here, they all come in. I double layered it so that if there is some sort of backup, it'll definitely pop into both of these droppers. And it's going to go into the chest and then go across the hoppers right here, and it'll get picked up wherever it's going. What I've noticed, and this is kind of the math that's important, is we wanted to see how much bone meal was being created out of this. I did another hour test. This is the original. I did another hour test, and I ended up having, it was like this much. And if I did the math, it ended up being about 2 double chests worth, or about 6,800, maybe 6,850 bone meal per hour. Now, the good moss farms, they do something like 5,000 to 7,000 an hour. So we've got a significant amount of bone meal coming out of this thing, and I may not even need to do a bone meal farm, which would be pretty crazy. So I don't know. I'm gonna look into this a little further. I think the idea of doing a bone meal farm is fun. I've never actually done one, but I also have a lot of other stuff I want to do. I'm gonna go with this for now. I'll take this right here, and instead of going into a chest, I'll feed it into another dropper just like this, and we'll probably put the tree farm right here just to make it easy. So bone meal will shoot on over here, come on up, fill up all the hoppers, and we'll just call it good from there. And if I end up needing more bone meal, I can either make this taller, which would be kind of fun. There's no reason why I couldn't just take the top layer out and just keep it going. Or I can do a whole nother one of these next to it, and then I'd be looking at maybe 13,000 bone meal per hour, and that's 100% more than I need. That's gonna do it for this episode. We have gotten a lot done, but I'm really excited about next week because I'm going to do the shulker farm. I've got a pretty cool method of making sure that I don't need to have all the invis potions and all that good stuff. So it's going to be a really neat process, and I hope you come by and see it. So for this episode, my name is Golmov. Thanks for coming by. Like and subscribe. We'll see you next time. Bye.